Last weekend, the top 100 players in the FedEx Cup standings teed it up at the Deutsche Bank Championship in Boston, hoping to make the 70-man cutoff for this week's BMW Championship. Jim Furyk won the FedEx Cup in 2010 and has had a hugely eventful 2016. After missing 8 months through injury, he returned in May and had rewritten the PGA Tour record books by August, having become the first player to shoot a 58.
I think if I go out and shoot 67, 66, maybe I could gain some momentum, take that to Greensboro and play well, and go out there, and it turns out being an exciting round, and it was like trying to win a golf tournament at the end, with television cameras and media, and of course you never imagine that you're going to go out and fire a low number like that.
The Broken 60 Club is one of the most exclusive in golf. Only 6 men have ever gone round in 59 in the PGA Tour's entire history. Furyk was already a member after the 2013 BMW Championship, so he knew how to cope with the pressure on the final day of the Travelers' Championship.
I thought about breaking 60 again, making the turn. Late in the back nine, 7, 8, 9. I've got it 8 under par making the turn now. Shoot 3 under on the back, and I break 60. I have no rhyme or reason or can't explain why that was the day. I just know that making the turn and headed to the 10th tee, I kind of had a smirk on my face, and in my mind I was thinking, here we go again. You put yourself in position again to break 60, so let's make the most of it.
58 isn't the only spectacular number associated with that round. Furyk went out in a blistering 27 shots. He hit all 18 greens, had 10 birdies and an eagle to do something that had never been achieved before in 1.5 million competitive rounds in the history of the PGA Tour.
Folks kind of always gathered that my game was one that wasn't one that made a ton of birdies and went low, and I might not be the guy that folks picked. The rounds were very similar, a lot of the same emotions, and it's exciting. It turned what would have been a very unemotional day into a very emotional day, where you're battling yourself and you're battling your mind for most of the day.
It's all the more incredible when you consider the health issues Furyk's battled recently. He withdrew from last year's BMW in September with a wrist injury and went under the knife in February, an operation that kept him out until May. And yet he was soon still in contention for his second major championship.
Got off to a little bit of a slow start the first few events, and then played great at the US Open, and had a wonderful last round, and threatened the leaders there for a little while. So to do that in my home state was a lot of fun. It'll be probably the last time I ever see Oakmont in a tournament, so it's kind of good to go out on a high note.
Dealing with an injured left wrist was a problem all too familiar to Furyk, as he'd battled with the same issue about a decade earlier. This time, though, he vowed to approach his recovery with more patience and less frustration, and to limit his amount of playing time when he first returned to the course.
I had a surgery in 2004 and started my year up. Played 2 events in January, started my year up back in June, and I really got impatient. I really tried to squeeze an entire year into about 4 or 5 months. And what I learned is you can't do that. It's not healthy for your game. You start forcing the issue and trying too hard, and so I vowed I wouldn't do that this time.
The steady approach paid dividends. Furyk made the cut in 12 of his 14 tournaments this year. Looking forward to the Ryder Cup at the end of the month, Furyk's hoping to gain a captain's pick from Davis Love to continue his impressive feat of appearing in every Ryder Cup since 1997.
I never, really expect anything. I guess I was hoping that that I would play some good golf and get in there and maybe make it on points, and if not, hopefully be playing strong enough where Davis might want to pick me. But you know what? There was 100 other guys hoping the same thing on both sides of the pond. So the best way, really, and even as an assistant captain, what I'd tell the other guys out there vying for a spot is, you can look at the points all you want, you can look at the projections all you want. Am I going to get through on the FedEx, and how's it look Ryder Cup wise? But ultimately, the only thing that really matters is how you play.
Furyk's game is certainly in good shape, but will his recent form, along with his vast Ryder Cup experience, be enough to earn him a captain's pick and a 10th appearance at golf's premier team event?